have outstanding jazz compositions of the 20th century: Miles Davis, J.J. Johnson, Bill Evans, Art Farmer, Jimmy Kempler, Teddy Charles, Joe Wilder. And first movement, Charles Mingus. Suspensions, Jimmy Geoffrey. Some Duke Ellington. Record one. So this is another two-record set.
You know what's interesting here is, it's showing me something that I really hadn't had thought about. But in these early records, what they needed, and they did, was that they are giving us a lot of information that's almost like a mini book inside here, so that we can understand jazz and how many people are involved in each one of these sessions, and gives them credit, and it is what to look for, and why it's significant, and complete information on each one of the artists here. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
And later, of course, you'd get an album, and you look at a Miles Davis or John Coltrane record, and it would say the name of the record and the artist, and then you turn to the back and it'll tell you the tracks, and then the credits of who produced it and who recorded it and where. And don't dare record it because it's copyrighted, and we're out of here. But this has a lot of information.
A lot of information, and it has two records, and it's $5 is all I paid for it at the time.
I've never seen it before. That's a real rare record.
You can find some great values a lot of times by looking through the compilations, I guess. Compilations.
It's rare to find these. I was watching. I'm one of those nerds where there's a vinyl community channel where a fella just goes to thrift shops and or garage sales or estate sales, and he shows you the records that
he picked up.
He does show you. He takes out the ones that he's going to buy, and he leaves the ones he's not. But you'll see the same records over and over and over and over.
I've seen a lot of them.
Okay, and I did it for years and years, and I could start in a collection like that and go, oh no, this is going to be a bad day at the store. This is not going to work out. I've waited here in the dark.
Reader's Digest. Here we go. Steve Lawrence. Okay.
Boy. When you see the word Montevante, you go, I gotta leave.
Fresher texture. The best in bands, solid, sweet. So you got some solid bands and some sweet bands. Yeah. Oh boy, are those sweet bands? I'm looking on these here.
David Carroll, Lawrence Welk, Xavier Cougar. Stop there! Stop!
Yeah. This one, the sweet side. I think we can pass on this one. But the
nice album cover.
It's
on Mercury, which was a good label and all that. But
yeah, you might want to stick to the Count Basie.
You know, just pretend I'm not dizzy. I'm a record store owner, and I walk in with this record and say, would you be interested in buying that? And he'd say, get it out of my store.
Oh, boy. Man. So, Pete Kelly's Blues. Do you know anything about this one?
Well, I knew it was Jack Webb right away. And I don't think he was. I don't know why Jack Webb. He's a narrator.
Narrator on it, yeah.
Yeah. But anyway,
Pete Kelly and Big Seven.
Yeah. Well, I think there was a Pete Kelly's Blues movie.
You would be correct. There is. There's a Pete
one
Kelly.
Thing today I've gotten right. I wish my wife was here. I'd brag about it.
And I always like watching it because I could tell Jack Webb's faking it. You'd see him hold the trumpet up and hit the. It's like, no, he's not really playing this. They got somebody else that's playing this stuff. And but the music, that doesn't mean the music wasn't good. I'm not sure who was the actual. Sadly, they got Jack Webb.
Better give the guy some credit.
They better be somewhere here, right? I mean, let's see, drummer. Let's see, the cornetist, Dick Cathcart, showed up with an unsettled stomach and later surprised the counterman across the street by ordering a baked feather for lunch. A baked feather for lunch. I don't know. This is creative writing here, I think, by the person writing the notes on the back. But another nice.
I'll say this: there was few records on RCA Victor, and I'm sure the jazz collectors that are out there could back me up on this. That if you had all the blue notes, you'd go, boy, those guys could really put out the jazz. Impulse, ooh, that's really great. And then you go to like Verve, ooh, Clef, ooh, and then you go RCA Victor or Columbia, and you go, maybe not.
Maybe not. Maybe not.
Maybe not. Maybe not.
Yeah. So they're using their popular actor, right? Jack Webb to help sell it. So
You're holding a record in your hand
60.
that was like I was just mentioning. This was a record that showed up in a lot of thrift stores over the years, and it's not really a bad record. I'm not saying it's a bad record just because it showed up in so many thrift stores, but it must have been very accessible. It must have been.
That's it. A lot of people bought it. That's
Yeah,
all. It just means
for
a lot of people bought it.
sure.
There's a lot of records like that you come across. Even now,
Yeah.
I mean, I just saw Van Morrison's CD, Moondance. Thank you. Moondance, and you could pick it up for 50 cents. And so
Well, they had a lot
that
to-
happens. Everyone has a copy.
Sure.
Everyone has it. So we all have it, and if it falls a little bit out of style, it's
Well,
like
and
we've seen lots of those.
compilations have always been a dime a dozen. I'm telling you, it's hard to sell compilations. I don't care even if it's a brand new compilations.
Well,
Because where do you file it?
anyway, that's where I win. Yeah, I always look for the various or the or whatever.
Most people don't,
call it.
though.
Yeah, yeah. That's how I win.
Yeah.
So, Honeysuckle Rose, Benny Goodman, Ain't Misbehaving, Louis Armstrong, I'm Coming, Virginia, Eddie Condon, 1 O'Clock Jump, Harry James. Go ahead.
Remember when we had the Columbia Record Club?
Uh-huh.
You can pick like 9 records and you get them for free. You just sign up as a member of the club, and then you have to buy over a year 9 more records, something like that.
Right.
Don't hold me to the exact
A
numbers
little
here.
higher price.
Yeah, a little high. Oh, higher than free. I'll say they were. But at any rate, but you'll never find a collection in that. And it didn't matter if it was a record store or
I see.
mail order or whatever. These type of records were almost for promotional use only because they're so hard to sell.
Well, but this does have great Dave Brubeck, A Fine Romance, Peter Rugulo, The Shriek, Perdido, Sarah Vaughan, Let's All Get Away From It All, J&K, Kai.
But somebody
Errol
could
Gardner.
somebody could go just like in this. Errol Gardner, except for his
Misty.
Jazz by the Sea,
Oh,
was always thought to be, cocktail music.
I didn't have a lot of his, and then later on I got
But
some
anyway,
of
you get a
like it.
compilation and you go, well, I do like Benny Goodman or I do like Louis Armstrong, but there's 3 or 4 here that are not in my category, and so you don't buy the record.
Right. Well, anyway, that's I guess the $64,000 question.
It's kind of nostalgia. Look at the old black and white TV on the cover there.
Right.
Yeah, clever.
Yeah.
So
Well,
this
I think
is
it was
the
put
last
out
one,
at that time. Yeah, this is the last of
What a sad
compilations here. Jazz of the 40s, Jazz of the 50s. So this is Leonard Feathers Presents Encyclopedia of Jazz on record, Volume 3 and Volume 4. So the 40s and 50s, Leonard Feathers wrote a lot of liner notes and books about jazz.
And he was a newspaper columnist, I believe, as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So this has got some Artie
Or
Shaw,
magazine.
Stan Kenton, Nat King Cole, Coleman Hawkins, Jay Machine, Roy Eldridge, Art Tatum, Billie Holiday, Eddie Condon, Eddie Hayward and his orchestra, Lionel Hampton, Woody Herman, Red Nouveau, Charlie Ventura, Jimmy McPartlin. And that little sale I went to the other day, it was a thrift shop, 50 cents for Marion McPartlin. I got her disc, but a lot of great music in these compilations, and so skip the compilations groups, because you never know what you might find in there. And I've had to dig a little before, you know.
Well, when you were always willing to invest in a record just to find something you might discover is something that really is in your wheelhouse, and then just like they were hoping, you will go to the source material for that cut. Find the record where it's on that, and say, okay, let's see. I'm probably going to like the rest of this.
Right. Well,
Oh, you've done it. I know you've done it.
I'm sure I've done it.
Oh, yeah.
But
yeah.
that's kind of the idea with these promotional type records. Are not just promotional, but I think there's some of that in there. Like you say, with compilations. And you know, if you are new to a certain genre or want to explore genre more, that's a nice way to do it. You hear somebody that's already picked them out for you, and you can listen to it and go, oh, you know, I like that one particularly. I'm gonna get more of that. And so that's.
I got one that's going to hit your nerve. Now, you're admittedly not a big country western fan, would you say?
Right.
Okay? But if I had a compilation where I said the best of like 66, best of 72, and I had only country western songs that were number one hits within that year, I got a good chance that if you're going to like anything at all, it's on that record. Because the also-rans are definitely going to be out of your category.
Yeah.
You do. Look, I know you.
True.
You do. If I gave you the top 10 of Johnny Cash, you're going to buy it. You like Johnny Cash.
Yeah, I do. The railroad stuff, but I mean,
No.
some of the other stuff, I don't know.
No,
if
that's what I
would
say.
jump in
It's the bigger numbers. You know, he could have been at a Johnny Cash concert and been quite happy. Mm-hmm. But it takes songs like, you know, got to roll out the good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, but even you know, I mean, I had a friend that turned me on to a record called "The Wanted," and it had.
Is that the movie Johnny Cash was in?
No,
Oh.
it was. It was Waylon Jennings, Jesse Coulter,
Oh, I remember this. Yes.
Willie Nelson.
Yeah, I remember this record. Yeah.
I don't remember who the fourth player was.
Christopher Crofton? Maybe?
No, it was earlier than that.
Glasser.
We can do this all day. Hey, folks want to listen in.
Well, it wasn't Petula Clark, was it?
It was Petula Clark. That was it. Yeah. Downtown Country. It was just fabulous. You really got to check that out. The Wanted. Anyway, and I enjoyed that record.
Circle
it was
poster.
That's. I'm trying to get back to.
They're all dressed in Western gear, like bad guys.
Help me out. Anyway, that record, you know, first time I heard it didn't really grab me too much, but the more I heard
they
it,
sold 1 million copies of that record.
Did they? Okay.
Look, you could find it today in every.
You can probably find it, but it's not. It wasn't like a top 10 for pop rock or anything. It was a country record, and it was straight country, and it was pretty simple country. I mean, it wasn't. It was more acoustic sounding stuff. So sometimes things can get you from a place you don't expect. It doesn't have to be someone giving you the top 10 of that year.
You know, I had a Waylon Jennings children's record in which he did children's songs, and he just like he was talking to a 5 to 10 year old.
And it was right in your wheelhouse. I can see
yes, you bet. And I had my pinwheel streamer, and I blew into it and went, woo, woo.
Good time.
And then I had the thing that you turned around, you know, and went click, 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 click.
Help me, Lord, help me.
You better get out of this quick.
He also, Waylon Jennings, had one he did in a church. Have you seen that record? Where he's, anyway, that was a cool record. And I'm not a big country fan. And that Waylon Jennings in this church was different, was gospel mixed with country, as I remember. And it was pretty interesting. So anyway, with that, champ out, and we'll catch you next time.
I'm exhausted personally.